Hi, I'm back. Welcome to another episode of Crooked Garden Homestead. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about what we've done on a homestead. This back part of my property, I'm on 5 acres. This back part of my property, we just got through fencing it, and as you can see back here, it's all grown up. There's trees, shrubs, and just, I think the whole back part is covered with blackberries of what was at one point blackberries, and there's thorns everywhere. But I got, as you can see right here, I got some pigs back here, and I got my goats back here, and you see some pigs in the very back there. I just put them in here yesterday. I'm wondering how long it's gonna take for them to clear it. You see on the ground over there, they've been very busy rooting over there, but I remember when I was putting that fence up that was very fertile soil over there. It was lots of earthworms, so I'm guessing they're over there eating that earthworm. So I'm gonna take you on a walk in here and see what we can come up with here, just to show you what we've been doing on the farm. Why I've been so busy, hadn't had time to do the garden like I wanted to, because I wanted to get this back property fenced before it was time for me to go back to work. I'm walking on another pasture I'm on, and got holes in it from where the pigs were here before, and they were just rooting and rooting. Like look at that pig. Look by it right here. Let me show you. Let me walk over here. He's over here. He's got him a mud puddle already right there, and you can see someone over there too. So again, they're definitely busy back here, and it's only been a day. He got his nose to the ground. He's back here rooting up stuff, looking for goodies, bugs, worms, whatever else he can find down there, roots. But wow, I see right there on the back of his ear, he's bleeding. I don't know if he's gotten cut by some branches or some vines or something that's in here that's cut him, or if they've been back here actually fighting. So if you can bear with me for a minute while I go over here and I let myself in this gate. Might be kind of hard to do with one hand and holding the camera, but I might not be able to get in here, but let me just, you see all of this back here. The only clear part you see is where I had my neighbor come through with this bush hog, and he bush hogged the path for me to be able to start clearing the fence line. So I'm gonna pause the camera so I can get in this gate, and I'll be right back. Alright, I finally made it in the gate. I'm back. I'm gonna start this treacherous journey walking around the property line back here, just to show you. As you can see, I got 1, 2, 3 strands of hot wire to keep them completely off the gate back here. Even though my wife and I, we pulled it tight, but still these pigs and goats are destructive when it comes to gates and fences. If they want to get out, or if they want something on the other side, then there's nothing they'll do to get it. I got a big male. He loves scraping. Look in there. He's already been scraping on the trees. Look, and the bark's completely gone off of there. Which is not, I mean, I don't care. I don't want these trees back here. I let the thing grow up because I was supposed to have this property fenced like 2 years ago, and I thought, well, I'll just let it grow so there's food back here for the goats to eat once I fence it. Well, 2 years went by, and this is what you get. You got trees everywhere. You got overgrown bushes and blueberries all over the property. So, and I totally don't mind him digging right here, rooting. They're actually doing what I put them back here to do. Believe it or not, in my past experience, when they root like this and like you see big holes everywhere, when I've taken them off the paddock and put them somewhere else, and then I bring them back onto the paddock, they'll start rooting again, but they somehow seem to cover those holes back up. They don't go deeper. My pigs don't anyway. I don't know what your experience is with your pigs, but I mean, it's never smooth. It'll never be smooth unless I smooth it out. But I'm saying they don't go 5 feet, 6 feet down on a hole. My pigs have never done that, and I've had pigs for years. So I'm gonna keep walking around the rest of the property. Well, I'm also checking my fence line also, because like I said, we've just got this done. I've only had them back here for 1 day, and I'm just making sure everything is good with the fence, that it's holding up to what we did. Because like I said, just my wife and I, we're the only ones that really do anything back here. So you can see you got a little goat right there, and there's part of the herd, and my big buck over there, he's over there laying down in the grass. There's a couple of other members right there, and you got the other ones right over here. Got a couple of moms back here with their babies. The babies were too small for me to actually wean, because I got some up there in the pen that I'm weaning right now, but these babies were a lot younger than those, so I decided to let them stay with their mom for a little bit longer before I put them in the pen and wean them. Hey Oreo, you want to say hey Oreo? That's Oreo, and that's Midnight right there, and this is Twilight, and that's Tippy. That's Tippy because of her ears. When she was born, her ears tipped straight out just like that, so we call her Tippy. And that's Twilight over there. And we're gonna go around and keep looking and keep checking the property. This is the fertile part on the ground I was telling you guys about. When we were fencing over here, we seen lots of huge earthworms. I'm talking about gigantic. And I think they got those worms because, I mean, it's not very deep. It's just deep enough that where they can find a worm or a grub or whatever they're looking for to eat, and they done that. So you can see a mama right there. You can see some of the babies over there. But wow, I mean, come on guys, in just 1 day they've done this. What's up, Elsa? Nobody thinking about your babies. Yep, these babies just take off running like I'm out to get them. They probably remember yesterday when my family had to actually catch them suckers, because they wouldn't just come to a bucket of feed like everyone else. Everyone else walked back here, but the babies refused. They held out to the last minute. So we had to literally go in the pasture and catch them with a fish net that broke, because there's some fat little piglets. You can kind of see back here some more of the area that it's really thick with brush and stuff back here, if you can see that. So it's more like them living in a natural habitat, like some woods, and I like that, because it's been a while since they've been on forest like this, because they've been on a paddock and they just wore the grass smooth out. So I'm sure they're excited to be on this property back here. That's the original dad right here. He was back there sleeping. Hey buddy, just giving him a tour, don't mind me. So again, checking the property line back here. Got some leftover fencing that I use, some goat tough fence back here, which is really thick, really strong stuff. Usually when I get fencing, the top and the bottom wires is usually thick and the rest of it is pretty thin, but on this particular brand of fencing, goat tough, every wire is really tough. Had to get some heavy duty wire cutters to cut that stuff, so I swear by it. I've never had goat tough fail on me. I've had my goat, my buck, my male, I've had him shred red brand fencing. I mean, my neighbor has some little pygmy goats, and they stick their head through the fence, and my buck didn't like that, and I tell you, he shredded that fence trying to get to those baby goats. So I'm not really fond of that particular type of fence. I'm gonna go with goat tough. It's a little over $200 for a 330-foot roll, but it's worth every penny, I'm sure. So when I cleared the fence line, I didn't. I just left this stuff piled up back here, and when the pigs and hogs do their work, when they get this place clear enough where I can see, I'll come through and I'll gather all this stuff and I'll burn it. Okay. One thing I want to point out is, you can see this chain link fence back here, and you can see my fence right here. There's like a pretty good gap between the two. Of course, my property is actually right up against that fence right here, but according to my survey, my property goes beyond that fence. But when I moved to this house, this fence was already here, and so was the neighbor's fence. So I'm not worried about, 10 feet, 5 feet of property, it don't bother me. I'd rather have good neighbors than to be arguing over property line. But what I am worried about is, because I did put my fence right here, that what if they decided to take their fence down and say that my fencing is the property boundary? So that has me concerned, but I did make a video about that and explain why. As you can see right here, there's a lot of big stumps, tree stumps and stuff right on the property line, and there's one right there and one down there, and all I got is a chainsaw and manual labor. I don't have anything that could get the stump up besides just me and what little muscle I have, so for me, I just felt like the wisest thing for me to do would be to scoot it out where it's free and clear of all the brush and the stumps and stuff like that. Now, like those back there, I'll come through and spray those so they won't get too tall. But here's another stump right here. There's another stump right there, right on the property line, and it just seemed more logical to me to scoot it out. And there's another one. So I guess what I'm saying is, after it was just me and my wife back here clearing this place for the past couple of weeks with just a chainsaw and machete and a pair of loppers, I didn't have the energy or the desire to want to get rid of these stumps. There's some more stumps that I actually cut down a little lower. I had to get a stump grinder back here, and this is a pretty good distance from my house. I'm at the very back of my property, and my house is all the way. Let's see if you can't. Well, it's kind of shaky, so I'll take it back. But it's a pretty good walk back here. And to get a stump grinder back here, I can't get a truck back here because I have a pond. The one side's pretty low and it seems to overflow. So my whole pasture is wet. And so there's no way I can get any type of vehicle back here. That's why my neighbor was kind enough to come over here and bush hog for me, because he lives at the back end of my property, right on that property line, so he just drove his tractor over here, and it was dry for him. It wasn't a big deal, so I was very appreciative of that, because I couldn't get anything else in here otherwise. So yep, I gotta come back through and get some of this stuff off this bottom wire. Still have a little work I gotta do, but for the most part, and there's some more extra fence right here that I'm gonna get and combine with that other one, just so I could got some more fencing over there I need to do, where my buck actually tore up the property line. Yeah, I gotta repair that, because these are my animals, and I have to try to keep them safe, keep them from getting out, and I don't want to be chasing animals all over my part of the town. So you can see where I'm walking at through here. They've definitely been rooting back this way, and there's another big male right here. The two males, they were the big one, the daddy. Like I said, he was the head honcho. He was the more dominant male, and then I separated this one and put him in my garden to root my garden up. And just about a month and a half of being separated from his father, when he finally got back to the rest of the herd, he wasn't being subservient anymore. He had more of a dominant nature. So him and the dad, literally, they fought for about a week, and this one whooped the dad pretty bad. I thought he wasn't gonna make it, but he pulled through, and I think the dad has accepted the fact that his son is now in charge and running things. They haven't been fighting anymore. So yeah, he's a pretty big, I mean, this camera don't do him any justice, but he's a pretty big stout male. He's only about 2. At one point, believe it or not, I was trying to give him away to people. Nobody wanted him, and now look, he's gonna be a good father to all my future piglets. So I'm gonna carry on. You wanna say hi, buddy? Huh? Give a grunt. Okay. So I'm gonna carry on, finishing this walk. So yeah, I gotta, like I said, it's brush all through here, man. And I want to take a poll, see what you guys think. Whoever's watching this video, please comment and respond. How long do you think it would actually take the goats combined with the pigs to clear this space? Look, there's a snake right there. See it? It's a pretty big snake. Even though I live in the country, I'm not terrified of snakes, but I don't know what kind of snake that is, but according to my wife, all snakes are bad. So that could have been a copperhead or a rattlesnake. She don't care. A snake is a snake. I told her, you can't live in the country and be afraid of snakes. So, like, yeah, they're definitely exposing, like, these little stumps right here. I could have took them things down with the chainsaw, but I guess I was being lazy and didn't do it. But I'm gonna come back through at a later date, and I'm gonna definitely take these suckers down. When it's all said and done, this pasture is gonna look really nice, and I'm gonna have the pigs to thank for that, and the goats to thank for that. I can show you other pastures over here. You see these pastures right here? See how nice and flat and green that is? That at one point looked just like this back here, but minus the trees. There weren't any trees, but as far as being bushy, oh yeah, most definitely. It looked just like this. You can hear me walking through water back here. I don't know what this is right here on this property line, but it fills up with water. And it goes over to the neighbor's side. I fenced that the best way I could, but anywho, that overflows when it rains. And my pond over there is low right there. It overflows, and they just connect with each other and make for a horrible situation for walking, trying to get up out this mess. So there's no way I could come back here without rubber boots. I keep rubber boots on. So got them some water back here. They hadn't touched it. They don't care about water. They're too busy exploring. And I'll walk up here and show you guys where the pigs were before I put them back here. All right. So I'm gonna take another break, get out this gate, and I'll connect right back with you. All right, so I'm back walking across this pasture. Again, look how pretty this pasture is. I mean, with the exception of a few ruts and the lawn. I mean, I think the pigs and goats have done a good job making this immaculate. I definitely think I need some sheep, as you know, and as I had to find out, pigs are not pigs, but goats are very picky. Everyone say a goat to eat everything, but that's just not true. I've certainly found out that grass is among the last thing a goat will eat. You see I'm walking through a marsh right here. I mean, there can easily be a snake or something in this water, and I'm walking through it. Like I said, I got my boots on. You can see over here how that's all flooded over there, and it comes from the pond right here. This whole side right here is really low. If you see back over there, that's the high area back over there. So nothing it's dry. It's always dry. But this part over here is low. I think once it stopped raining long enough for me to haul some dirt and build that up, that's definitely what I'm gonna do. But for the time being, I just have to make it work. I just pretty much do what I can do with what money I have to do it with. I mean, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is this homestead. So I do a little bit at a time. And I'm proud of the fact that it's just been my wife and I out here working. I'm gonna zoom in on some of my goats over here, baby goats. These are all bucks in here, with the exception of, where's my finger? That white one right there beside the brown one over there. Her name is Honey. We actually had to bottle feed her. First goat we had to do that with, but her mama had triplets. First goat we have to have triplets. So she rejected her, so we had to bottle feed her. So Honey is the only female in there, and the rest of these are males. And right now we're trying to figure out, we want to keep one a breeder, but we're trying to figure out which one we want to keep the breed, and we're gonna ban the other ones. I mean, if this is a sensitive subject for you, I'm sorry, but I raise goats for meat. That's why I do it, to feed my family, to make sure that we have meat in the storehouse. So we're definitely gonna ban the other ones, or if someone wants one so bad that they're willing to pay for it as another intact buck, then I'll sell it that way. But I'm not desperate by any means to keep them intact in hopes of selling it. My wife is over there. That's my garden back over there, and it looks okay. My wife is down there. There she go. See if I can keep it steady. She's back there trying to trellis the cucumbers up the little trellis system I made out of cattle panels. So it's been a really hot day, trying day for us. And she's wore out, I'm wore out. It's very humid, and like I said, we've been on this fencing for the past couple of weeks, and we're just wore out, but can't give up though. Got to keep going. All you can do is take a break. Now I'm headed over here to show you this old raggedy barn. It was here. We moved here. None of the fencing was here. My wife and I put up every bit of fencing you see around here. We paid for it. We put it up. This barn has served its purpose, but I'm definitely fixing to get rid of that and put a storage building there that I can make into a little store one day. I'll show you where the pigs were at. The pigs were on this paddock right over here. As you can see, it's nothing but dirt now after being on here a couple of years. If you were on this for a couple of years with no grass at all, then you will be excited to get on that I just put them on. I'm sure once, you know, this soil gets used to them, the idea of them not trampling on it every day, it'll start to grow grass back. If not, I prefer if it didn't, because I'm actually gonna, all this stuff right here, I'll remove. It used to be old pens and stuff that I had for my pig. I'll remove that, get rid of that stump, cut this tree down, and like I said, put a building there. But I would love for all of this to be, I'll get rid of that too. That was where I kept a few pigs at one point, and it doubled as a pen for my buck. So I'll get rid of that too. And I would love for this to be my new garden. It's definitely more spacious. I don't plan on putting any more animals over here. I would love for this to be my garden and be able to sell some vegetables or at the farmers market in the future. Or better yet, the building I'm gonna put right here as my store, Crooked Garden Homestead store, I would love to be able to put vegetables in there and have people come out and buy veggies from me. And once I have pork and goat and lamb and different stuff like that butchered at a USDA butcher, I would love to be able to sell my own meat out of there as well. But if I don't have food in my own freezer, if I can't feed my family, then selling an animal means nothing to me if my freezer is empty. That's why it doesn't bother me. Every year people come to me wanting to buy goat for the 4th of July. My herds, I got 22 right now. My herd's just not where I want it to be right now. I'm steadily trying to build on it. So I'm definitely not desperate to sell anything right now. Now one day it'll be where I got too many, so I'm definitely gonna want to sell some goats. This over here, at one point I had this built, pig pens built in there out of cattle panels. Pigs and dirt floors, man, I've had them, they just root out, and it just makes for a really hard situation. Every time you come out here, your pigs are out or your piglets roaming around. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the awning right here, and I'm going to make some pens out of cinder block and concrete floor, and I'll probably house them and that during the winter for sure, when there's not any grass out here for them to chomp on. It'll be in the winter, and I'll let them out in the spring. So that little thingamajig behind it is just when we first put them back here, we had a little temporary shelter we built out of pallets, and I'm fixing to do something like that in the back. But I've definitely grown since I put that together. The shelter is definitely going to look a lot better than that, and it's going to be designed and put together way better than that. But that served its purpose. It kept rain off of them. So if you look back here, my purpose is to have all the way over here, this is my first paddock, and my second paddock is over there. And I just walked you guys around the back. The way I measure it, each paddock is going to be the same size all the way around. Once the pigs and the goats clear that back there, then what I'll do is I'll divide that paddock back there as well in half, and I'm going to do rotational grazing back there with them. I'll do rotational grazing and keep the parasite load down, keep them on fresh grass, and make everybody happier. I am wanting to add some more animals to this, like such as sheep and maybe a Dexter cow or two. But I'm enjoying my life. We're enjoying it. We're having fun. A lot of people they couldn't do what I do because I can't just get up and go out of town for a week or whatever, because I have animals to feed, and if I don't make sure that I got somebody to come out here to feed them, then they'll be without. So therefore I don't go on a lot of vacations, and I just can't have anybody come out here to feed them because people has to be familiar with how you run your operation in order for them to be successful out here. So I have a friend. She's pretty good. She could definitely do this. But I think she's probably the only one that could do this. But I just wanted to give you guys a tour what's going on around here. I mean, we definitely got some cleanup. Like this is a pig transport right here. A little wagon we was using to the wheel actually fell off, so I think it's time to upgrade to a real wagon and not the little kiddie wagon. But hey, it served its purpose. We've had it for 12 years now. So this part up here is outside the paddock, right? All of this is outside the paddock. I was debating where the baby goats head over there. I want to put ducks over there. I had ducks over there, 4 of them, and they just disappeared. I'm thinking that something from the sky came in there and got them, because the spacing on the fence is definitely small, and I don't think a predator would have went through all that trouble to get to them when it had little week old baby goats. That's my daughter running from the turkey. She sees the turkey, that's Lucy, and she's running from Lucy. She's not gonna bother you. Come on. That's my daughter, Atlanta Jade. Anyway, that's my chicken coop back there. I gotta work on it. I hadn't had chickens in a couple of years, but I thought about utilizing this pasture right here as well, putting some fencing over here just to keep me from having to mow everywhere, which would really be great. It's a lot of grass over here, and a cow or a sheep or something that like to graze grass would definitely do really, really well over here. So I'll keep you guys updated when we're doing more on the homestead and we're upgrading it. I know it's not much, but it definitely looks better than it did when we got here. Like I said, none of the fencing was here. There's no telling how much money we spent on fencing and on hot wire and all that, and posts and T-posts. It's been a lot. You can hear my neighbor's goats over there. You can see them right there. Little pygmies and Nigerian dwarfs. There's some pretty goats. I got some pretty good neighbors. So until next time, see you later.